Hit pretty hard by a lot of Graves' skill shots. He is going to get stunned up. Anti's going to Q, go for the other Q. It's very close. Anti with the flash auto will be able to secure first blood here. Not Nimbus Cloak. Cloak of Agility to give a little more bonus damage. That fight's going to start. Anti is going to go in for the ulti. Up 3, and that's going to be, they're just going to steamroll this one. RLS. They're going for the bush attempt, and that's going to be Oriri getting jumped on in one shot. 5 sketchy because the wardage in the river is a little hesitant. We do have a lot of blue wards on the other hand. Demon Girl gonna get flayed into 3, taken very low, but Anti with the damage, ulti towards the back. Anti gonna be taken very low, but so are 2 of the members. On the other hand, Vayne and Corki have been shredding through. Oriri and friends are gonna start hitting it. That's gonna force Anti to start ulting and start pumping out damage. Anti gonna be taken low. Iron Tower going to take him out. Corki going to take out Demon Girl. Skull goes over to TG, and that's going to be all 5 members of RLS getting taken out one by one. Triple kill for Vayne.
This is do or die for TG. They have to make a stand here. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. It's Baron, it's Elder, but
we go. Iron Tower off to the side is going to be able to get some damage if he's able to get in here, but RLS are just hitting the towers. They're not caring about the fight. Anti with the combo with Orianna. Welcome back to Friend or Foe Esports, everybody. After that short break, we are definitely ready to get in game number 2 after a 50-minute banger of a match. Game 1, RLS take the win on one of the closest games we have ever seen on the FOF stage. And heading on into game number 2 of the night, we have RLS on the blue side, and opting to select red side this match, we have Terracotta Gaming. Will RLS keep the pressure on and win their second game in the series, or will TG be able to swing things back in their direction? As always, my name is Whirler, and with me once more, we have Rap Terror.
Hello. Yeah, I thought that was a very close game. My goodness, in my mind, honestly, like hot take, I think Terracotta won that. I think when they got that kill and got Soul, they should have just ended the game. I don't think they needed Baron. They had 30 seconds. They have 380 carries. They could have easily ended it. But, you know, it's done. It's done. And I'm hoping they'll learn their lesson a bit here.
One thing is for sure that was missed a little bit is RLS got their gym badge against Terracotta Gaming.
That's true. Do you give them the gym badge for winning the game or the gym badge for winning the series?
Game. It would be game. Since regular season was best of ones, you got to keep the gym badges for one game.
That's fair. Does that mean they lose the gym badge if they lose the game?
No, that means they get another. That means they just don't get another badge. They're going for 8 badges, remember. Which, with that being said, the Volibear has been locked in once more for RLS, which is still a good flex pick for them. Was very good on War Leader, and I expected to go into War Leader's pocket again, considering the fact that Set and Irelia are still up for anti. Not Irelia. Irelia did get banned, but Set is up, and they're not going to opt to pick it yet. It's probably going to get thrown out here in the second pick phase, but Ezreal and the Cat have been locked in. Restless Leg Syndrome, that is a decent bot lane that will scale up into a monster later in the game. RLS has been going for these late game carries. I'm liking what I see so far, and it's back to Vayne for Terracotta Gaming.
Okay, so I see that Ezreal Yumi, and I immediately want RLS to lose. I have, as a Cloud9 fan, I have horrible flashbacks of that composition from last year. But it is good. You can reposition the Yumi so easily with the Ezreal. So it works out. My one concern with it all is just a lot of poke and not a lot of engage besides the Yumi ult, or a lot of I guess DPS compared to Vayne. Vayne can easily get out of Yumi abilities. So I'm interested to see it goes. There it goes. I was gonna see it. Terracotta should definitely ban Set. I didn't have to look at it and just immediately knew they're gonna have to ban that. And now force Anti a little bit more on the back foot, keep him from getting those carries he loves so much in the top lane, or things he can just really pop off with. I like the draft overall, though. I think the Jarvan is a good pick. I think the Trundle just didn't work out for what they needed, and instead of stealing tank stats, just get a kind of bruiser and just use Jarvan's Q to just rip their armor off them as it is.
And one more ban for this game coming out from RLS that was support focused in the first ban here in the second phase. Will it be support focused again? And it looks like it will be. Lulu being taken off the table. Thresh Lulu, none for Terracotta Gaming as we head into the second phase of picks. And Terracotta Gaming are looking to get the counter pick for mid lane if they select support here in this first pick.
Yeah, see if they'll get their support pick here. I think it's smart to pick the support. You want the counter pick. You don't want to leave anything open here. I'm going to guess it's going to be, I think, a Nautilus.
Oh
yeah,
God!
am I right?
Antunes on the. Oh my God! This is I don't want to say signature pick, but this is a very, very familiar pick if you have seen Antunes before. He's on the Blitzcrank with the Vayne. Not too sure how well those two synergize. However, still one of Antunes' most comfortable champions that I've seen him play.
So I almost had it right there, the Nautilus. This is the second option I would have picked in this situation. Blitzcrank, this is actually really, really good, especially to deal with Yumi. So I feel like a lot of people don't really realize the easiest way to deal with Yumi is just to get super aggressive on her in the laning phase before she hits 6. Just keep diving onto her carry, keep getting picks, and honestly, hook champions are the best for that. Things that just lock down whoever she's on, because early on her heal isn't that strong. She doesn't have the ability to really wind it up, doesn't have the ability to help her carry get out, and it's a free loot pinata. Get the kill on Ezreal, congratulations, you have a free Yumi kill. Easy pick. Especially with Blitzcrank, you've pulled them to you, so especially they're not going to be able to run away from you. I like it. I like it a lot. I really think it's good. I think the Azir also is good. And, ooh, Akshan's coming out here, so that's fun to see.
The first time we've seen it here on FOF, I believe, Akshan has been locked in, and we are also seeing Anti on Gwen coming in. So we have seen Akshan here, but we're seeing him again. You don't get to see this champion too often here, especially in competitive play. And on the opposite end of the mid lane, we have counterpicked that Akshan with Azir. So both of these teams, with the Ezreal and Yumi, as well as with the Azir and the Vayne, are looking to get into the mid to late game and try to scale up their picks. And we're seeing quite a spicy match in between these two. I'm not too sure who I'm predicting to win this match. Both of these comps are pretty solid in and of itself in terms of comfort and viability. I'm really hoping that we see, no matter which way it swings, that we see a bloodbath. What do you think, Raptor?
I think TG should have this one in the back. I think their comp is much stronger looking, at least in my mind. I think it's kind of it's kind of the comp they had last time, but it fixes a few things. You've got your hook champion. You've got a little bit more aggressive a hook champion. You've kind of picked a little bit stronger of a jungler for what you need. You've got the mid laner. It could probably be the same there. Ooh, he almost stopped that back, which
it was very close. War Leader was able to get that vision in on the red side jungle, barely getting out of there as well. But continue on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's good. That guy ward is good. If he'd gotten caught, that would have really hurt. I don't think he had any way out. But like I was saying, I think TJ's picks up their comp, and I'm a little confused by RLS's comp. Like maybe it's just me, but it feels like you've got this poke comp, but also like a comp that wants to go all like dive in, but also I don't know. It feels weird to me, especially having Akshan, someone who has to get really close. You don't want that when you're facing an Azir, a Graves, and a Vayne. Like that's just something that's kind of easy to like. It's just very easy to get caught up in that and die very quickly. So I don't know. I feel TG's comp looks stronger to me.
I I see. I would tend to agree with that. Their picks. I mean, especially in the later parts of the game, both teams have opted to pick scaling champions. In terms of Ezreal, but in terms of TG side, their scaling champions are miles stronger than Ezreal will ever be, even with a Yumi on top of him. Vayne late game does so much damage, and when you get items on Azir, that I mean that champion when you have not even 6 items, but more like 3 or 4, you start to see so much champion or damage come out of the bird.
Yeah, and I have to look it up. Yeah, I just really quick went to check the stats. Gwen is also a bad matchup into Graves. It's got a like 47% win rate against the Graves. I mean, granted that's solo queue data, but it's not a very solid matchup because anytime, like right there, you see Gwen goes in, cool, Graves dashes out and just immediately shotguns. So I think this is a bad matchup for Anti. I'm surprised he picked into it, but yeah, I guess that just means he feels that comfortable playing the Valor. He thinks, I can give you the counter pick and I'll still beat you in this.
I don't think he's more looking to beat him. If he does end up getting some kills on Shielded Valor, then it'd be to his benefit. But he's looking to get out of lane and sort of be that annoying mid-game fight champion that Gwen is. You can't hit me, I can hit your carry type of champion. It's one of those things where if Anti does get out of this lane unpunished for being down in the counter pick, I think it'll be to the benefit of RLS.
I agree. I think that's fair. I think it will be beneficial for them. But you got to get out of the lane first, and if you're just getting shoved into your turret constantly, like it could be a little bit hard. Graves now has 2. So he started a dagger, so he's got another dagger too. He's definitely going to try to rush his bow, just get that done, get his mythic done really quick. And I think once that's online, it's going to be very difficult for the Gwen, just because he can just sustain so well in a fight. And Iron Tower.
He's already forced Shielded Valor to recall, though, picking up another sword as well. Going to be down in CS because of that. Didn't opt to TP. Wants to save it for future plays, which is very admirable. Wave being pushed in. Going to round that out another, I believe, 7 CS for Shielded Valor. So it'll close the gap just a little bit. But Anti taking the reins here in this top lane, forcing Shielded Valor back. That's pretty good so far, especially in a counter pick kind of matchup. Still taking poke, though.
And it's just kind of being back and forth. This is going to be, I think, just very slow. I think RLS, they did get that lead. There's some solid lead in that game. Oh,
Ooh,
Anti.
really good for Shielded Valor to get the damage onto Anti. Oh, playing around the smoke screen, choking Anti into the damage, almost securing something from that. It's not going to amount to anything, but Anti will have to back off because of that. And that CS lead is now no more for Anti after this wave.
I think he could have killed him right there. I think he got a little scared because of the ignite, but I think he very easily could have killed Anti right there. Especially once you're in the ring, you don't have that invulnerability to damage anymore. You're not untargetable. So, I mean, you got tanky stats, but when you're that low and you don't have that much health to begin with, it'd be a little rough. So, I mean, like we said, shielded. This is gonna be This is gonna be a hard matchup for the Gwen, and yes, he was down CS. He's catching up now, and he's gonna shove that into the wave. And I think once he shoves it in, I think they try. I guess Herald's not up yet.
No,
I think
Herald.
Yeah.
Herald comes up, I believe, much later. I think we still got another 3 minutes before we see Shelly.
I had to look at the clock. Sometimes the game time escapes you. But speaking of escape, Ariri trying to stop an escape here.
Oh boy, Pangusol gonna have to grappling hook and swing his way out of that one. Because Antunes and Ariri off to the side, ready to gank him, ready to get onto him. Pangusol, I believe, with this item is pretty much guaranteed. He's going Wit's End first item. With only 1 magic damage person, despite being your laner, I still feel like this is the wrong item to build for Pangusol. This is going to be able to grappling hook out of the trade. He's going to be behind a little bit of damage finishing that item first. However, it is still, it's not all for naught.
That's true. I think, finishing that first is probably not amazing, but I mean, Vayne, the nice thing about Vayne is, you've got your W, so you don't really need to rush 80 right away. As long as you can hit multiple shots, you'll still put out big numbers and damage.
That was Akshan I was talking about, not
Oh,
Vayne.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Vayne. Ugh, spacing for a moment right there. But yeah, no, okay. I agree with. I can see that. Kind of a weird item to start first, but we'll see how it goes.
Definitely gives some MR against the lane, which will help the damage in the matchup. However, will sacrifice a lot of damage for Akshan, especially in the early parts of the game, where it's kind of post 6 through maybe 11 are sort of his strongest levels. He is 6 right now, so he's starting to get that pressure, able to get some, team play going on right now, walking around with War Leader, potentially getting picks, potentially starting things. With Akshan's abilities, you can do a lot, especially in team play.
Yeah, and if you can start getting, some picks on the sideline, he's got a pretty long range with that ultimate. So, ooh,
Hook almost going on to escape. I think this is a good matchup for Ezreal, though, because no matter what happens, if he gets hooked and saves the arcane shift, he should be able to just buffer it in front of the hook every time. Assuming that he didn't that time, he was definitely trusting the fact that he could dodge it, but that was very, very close for comfort. War Leader in the bot lane, no enemy jungler to be seen. Oriri's in the top lane, off vision. So this is purely off of chance that War Leader goes for this gank. He does not. He opts to sit in the tri-bush and walk it out. Not worth his time. He is going to go clear some more camps, get some vision in the river. He was spotted on that ward just now. Antunes and Iron Tower do know of the Bears' whereabouts. From that, though, Oriri isn't going to get too much off in the top lane either. They're camping in that bush, waiting for Gwen to walk up ever so slightly. No flash. Only the E to his escape is enough to secure a kill if Jarvan is able to land something. However, they're going to call that one off as well. Junglers succeeding in nothing in terms of ganks so far.
yeah, Gwen, anti-sniff something out there. He knew something was up. Pengu getting a little bit of vision out there. I don't think they saw that he was around, so that's that's good. They know where the Jarvan is, and that means that a War Leader, when he backs, he can kind of get an angle on where he wants to go. Oh, it's kind of a passive game from both junglers. It feels like there isn't really many gank opportunities for them right now. Both teams playing pretty safe, pretty secure. So I think they're just going to power farm for right now, which is still good. Both junglers will do well getting more farm for themselves and getting beefy, becoming those big frontliners that their teams need. But until then, I think it's going to be slow. It's going to be a very slow game. We're 10 minutes in, there hasn't been a single kill yet. But
Ooh, Pengu's Soul going in for the grappling hook. Isn't going to actually engage off of that. Just going to get one tick of the damage onto Azir, swinging on out of that. If Azir had the quick fingers, you can actually backward Shurima shuffle him out of his grappling hook animation. So if you do catch Akshan slipping, that could have been really bad for Pengu's Soul if Niet had the reaction time. Or opting to just not go for it. But here we are.
Oh.
He does go for it. Like I said, the knockup going to go wide, but the Cataclysm, Pengu Soul's in a world of hurt here, is flashless, is lifeless, and Azir going to pick up that first blood.
you might say he tried to spring into Akshan right there, but it cost him his life. You're gonna get puns, my friend. You're gonna get all the puns today.
Hey man, I'm all for the punny guys here at FOF. We're on stage. We're here to make things happen. And speaking of making things happen, we got Ocean Dragon coming in for Terracotta Gaming.
Yeah, Ocean, good. So, it's not gonna be Ocean Soul this game. It looks like it's gonna be Mountain or Infernal. We might see Infernal second time top lane.
Top lane, we're getting a dive. Proactive plays. Bot side makes a play. We're making a play top lane. And with TPs coming out from both mid laners, nothing's going to happen after that. Azir ultless, not able to really start anything. Akshan using the TP just in case. Didn't really need to. However, the team play from RLS, recognizing they just lost Dragon, they are already top lane, ready to make it happen for them. And very good on RLS, able to kill the top laner, able to secure more gold for them, evening it up, still closely even for both teams.
Yeah, good reaction to the play mid. They knew, okay, they've got that. They're probably going to run down bot. They're going to try to grab that dragon for themselves. So let's go top. Let's make a play here. Yet, he's trying to stop the Herald. I don't think he's going to be able to. He's all alone, and there are 3 people here.
He has ulti coming up in about less than 5 seconds for Niet. He has no team members around except for Shielded Valor right now, who just expended TP top lane. He's going to opt to recall. No TP, no nothing for him right now. Should be able to pick up his tier 2 boots, assuming he didn't just buy. There it is. Blue team dropping the Rifttail. Gonna get 2 plates guaranteed right here onto 2 different members. 320 gold for the bear.
And RLS, okay, the gold lead's gone. Like, they got a gold lead, and then it immediately fades away. But anyways, Valor, that was unfortunate for him, but he's still doing very well in this matchup, I think. He's still shoving the late waves in constantly, and while Gwen is ahead in CS, it's not as much as she could be, given the situation, and given that she's a gank now. But this bot lane's been pretty untouched by anything. No one's really come down here to do anything. They've just been kind of slowly farming, and TG's just been shoving the wave in. Ezreal doing his best to keep the farm up, but they have to play so safe, because if they step forward, Antunes is going to hook them. And you can only... go ahead.
And in a bot lane where you have 2 scaling 80 carries and you kind of just want to get out of the lane, you sort of like being untouched. You kind of just want to farm it out, play your game, and then look to start doing your champion's deeds later in the game. 2 item spikes for both of these champions are what we're looking for. 1 item spike on Vayne is honestly enough to get the job done. Once you get that Rage Blade, that Vayne is a threat.
Yeah, I'd actually be, if I'm RLS, I'm actually more worried about having that Vayne popping off, just because Iron Tower showed how good he was on it last game. I'd be a little bit worried of just letting it kind of free farm and just get whatever it wants. I mean, obviously you can't just force plays to happen, but you might want to try calling your jungler now, especially now that they're pushing up so much. Though, granted, there is a lot of vision on the side of TG. They've been very good at controlling these wards. You see Antunes going over there, constantly checking the river. Iron Tower following him, make sure they clear that tri-bush out. And I think as long as they keep the vision control up, I think they'll be safe. I don't think they need to worry about pushing that far forward. Obviously, Escape and Demon Girl cannot contest, given the nature.
Pangusol opting to take this trade is going to grapple and going to get a lot of damage on Azir, respectfully. And speaking of calling your jungler down, Jarvan and Graves up in the top lane again, looking to gank Anti, does not succeed once more. Is trying his best. Oriri is trying to make something happen. Ooh, the silence before anything to try to make that hook guaranteed, but buffering the arcane shift before the silence came on. That is really well played from Escape, because you never know when Antunes is going to press that button. So the fact that he was able to arcane shift before anything is insane. Both junglers racing each other at the same time to get up to the top lane. War Leader is going to ulti over, is going to be able to take out Shielded Valor. That happened so quick, it was almost like a car accident. Oriri is going to go down next. War Leader flashing out of tower range. He's going to get out alive.
Oh, good fight right there. Look, you can see TG's like, I've got the inside tracker on this gank, but really it was War Leader and the Bears the entire time. Comes back around. Valor did everything he could to get away, but there's just so much mobility on this giant bear. Just charges at him, then it jumps the wall to try to dunk him. And it does slam dunk him in. And now 2 kills on this Gwen. Got an assist for her too. She's gonna start to get a little bit scary, and Valor's gonna have a little bit of a hard time dealing with her, especially he's not running the shield bow this time.
Oh my god! Max range as max range can be. Antunes lands a hook on Escape and he loses half of his health. The ignite wears off. Yumi's gonna press W or E, get some of that HP back. Ezreal's low. Ezreal's gonna have to, or on mana, he's gonna have to recall pretty soon. Here in that top lane, I'm still mesmerized by what I just witnessed. I mean, with how both junglers were kind of just there at the same time, War Leader coming in nonchalantly. Speaking of which, Oriri's back, no ultimate to expend on either jungler. Niet popping his Emperor's Divide is going to lose that cooldown. Dragon is coming up. Cooldowns are off for TG. However, RLS are opting to just give up the second dragon. They're okay with losing this. Soul is going to be Mountain. For a tanky team such as, or for a tanky champion such as that Volibear, you would want that on your side. Doesn't matter too much against Vayne, but against everyone else, it matters a whole lot, being the only tank on the team.
Yeah, and I'm willing to trade in a 0 for a dragon. I mean, granted, it's a single Cloud Drake, but still, you're getting yourself closer to the Soul, and now it's going to be Mountain Soul this game, so that's going to be really good for them. Ooh.
Pangusol going in for it again, getting passive procs on Niet. Niet going to eat forward, forced to flash out. Pangusol barely avoiding that hook. That wasn't a max range one. Antunes just missing out on that one. Demon Girl back up in this, or back up in the bot lane. We have Iron Tower solo, but he's not solo for long. Oriri and Antunes off to the side. Escape, ulting and flashing, or Eing and flashing in front of their face. That's disrespectful as disrespect can get, because Jarvan's just going to Cataclysm, and guess who's dead?
Yeah, they didn't see that Jarvan there. They thought that Tower was just pushing up and being too aggressive. You know, they just seen the Blitzcrank mid. And Valor, again, getting picked on by this RLS squad. Poor leader doing everything he can. He knows his bot lane is just not going to be able to get anything done right now. And Pengu's not going to really be able to find a kill in mid lane. So he's trying to get this Gwen ahead. He's trying to get the Gwen to get into a position where she can carry the team and keep them good until the rest of the team can catch up. But again, TG, good on the cross play right there. Going bottom side, grabbing the kill for the Vayne, and now this Vayne's getting a little bit of a lead. It's gonna be starting to get a little bit scary. She's gonna get a full item off this back. I don't know how much more she's gonna get past that. It has been a little bit since she is back, and she does have a lot of gold. Shield bow, and
TG did actually lose out on that trade, though. After the proactive play in the bot lane, guess who made a proactive play top lane? Akshan got the tower in the mid lane. War Leader and Anti, after pushing off Shielded Valor, were able to get the top tower. That's going to be 2 towers for RLS. All for naught, though. We're starting back on the Rift Herald. 17 minutes, 46 seconds. No plates to be had. Shelly's going to walk back, angered that she was woken up from her slumber. Nothing's going to happen from that. But a slight gold lead because of that tower trade is going to go into the favor of RLS. And they're going to start spinning the narrative into their direction. So Akshan's going for his mythic item here second. Could be the Noon Quiver, could be the Kraken, could be the Gale Force. Both valid options this game. And War Leader is alone with the cat. Gonna go wide on the hook. Antunes looking for the bear. The Rift Herald is started again. All members of TG are on the side. RLS, just bottom of it, is gonna try to start the fight. Shelly at half. The fight's gonna begin. War Leader's gonna go in. That's gonna be Iron Tower taken down to half and Oriri taken down to 0. They're in a cage though. Hook goes out. Escape gets hooked in. Iron Tower picks it up. Escape down. War Leader trying to avenge his friend. That's going to be Akshan popping the ulti halfway early. Is going to secure the double kill onto his ear. And they're back on the Rift Herald for a third time. Shelly's like, again, let me sleep.
yeah, that TG a little bit too far up. I think they shouldn't be contesting that, especially now you know most of RLS is there. Your mid laner has just gone to go clear a wave. You just back up, give it up. That got a little bit awkward too in the middle of that fight. You saw the Azir all come out and that Jarvan ult too. Oriri died, and everyone's just kind of standing there awkwardly, like, what do we do? Where do we? No one can move. No one can go around this. But good on RLS. They come out, 2 kills. They get the Herald for themselves. You know, that Yubi ult was really good. It hit so many members on the side of TG, and honestly, if Niet hadn't hit that ult, they probably would have lost Iron Tower too. Might have also lost Valor. So good reaction there.
No Rage Blade. No Rage Blade for Vayne this game. She's second iteming the Wit's End into 1 AP threat. Not a terrible option. I mean, the item is still good. And I wouldn't go as far to say as it's a waste of gold to finish that item, especially second. I don't think she's going to be going Rage Blade because of that, though. She wouldn't delay the items even more. It's just going to be more of a on-hit minus the double auto.
Yeah, I think I think the Rage Blade is good, but I guess you want to kind of prevent Anti from just getting on top of you and immediately killing you. War Leader.
And we got ourselves a little bit of a skirmish here as Dragon's coming up in about 30 seconds. Both of these teams looking to get the mountains. Could be 4 mountain dragons here if RLS are going to be able to secure the last 4, but a hook in is going to knock up Gwen. Gwen going to get Cataclysm. That's 3 members of RLS stuck in there. Oriri
is the shuffle.
War Leader gets and is divided into the team. There's so much going on. Akshan revived War Leader. War Leader's walking back into the fight. It's 3v3 now. Antune's going to have to flash away. And the boomerang from Akshan is going to be enough to bring all 3 really low. Oriri tanking the grappling hook, not up just yet. Anti dashing forward. They're going to have to keep running away from this one. And with War Leader back alive from that Akshan revive, they're going to be able to pick up their first dragon of the game, and it's going to be the mountain.
Yeah, good use of the revive. It looked like TG, they had won that fight. It was a great shuffle on War Leader, but with that, they get the dragon. They're going to start stacking. This is really good for RLS. You've got the Volley Bear to get beefy. You've got Anti. He can get a little bit beefy with that. So this is going to be pretty solid for them. It was a good fight overall from them, especially in the back half of that. Ezreal doing so much work right there. Same with Pengu. Just overall, very, very fun fight to watch, even if it was kind of chaotic and messy in that little chokehold. And now they're pushing up the mid lane, they're pushing up the side lane, they're looking for some more towers, try to push this goal lead they've got going here.
And they are spotting out Oriri and Shielded Valor. They got 3-4 members here so far, ready to take action. War Leader going to stun up the tower. Tower not going to be able to defend Shielded Valor for anything, and Shielded Valor is going to go down in less than a second. And they're going to be able to push up this mid lane with the wave coming up to meet them in about 5 seconds. This could be exactly what they need to pressure Baron if they're able to get this tower, and potentially a little bit more, depending on how TG wants to react to this. They're going to take the tier 2 with ease. They're going to walk towards the top side of the map. There is no vision for TG in here whatsoever. What they're doing is unknown to them. They are going to recall. They are going to reset. TG is going to be on their toes if Baron is being started or not.
Yeah, and the Scully is starting to slip away from TG. I take back what I said. RLS really wanting to prove me wrong on this comp. Show, hey, you know, our comp is better. It's definitely doing better, and it's doing work. It is doing absolute work this game. 3,000 gold up. They're not gonna get the Baron, but they are gonna get their vision control of the area. Now TG, their side of the map's a little bit torn up right now. They're a little bit dazed, and they got to try to right the ship here. I just don't know right now where they're gonna find that. They probably need a pick. They probably want to try to grab Pengu or Anti, but it's hard. How do you catch a Gwen, and how do you catch an Akshan unless you get a really nice shuffle again? And they've also been doing a really good job of dodging Antunes' hooks this game. I want to say Antunes, hasn't hit as many hooks as we're used to him seeing. We're used to him being pretty accurate with them, but RLS has been very much on their toes, very aware of his presence, very aware of the angles he's going for, and being very predictive here. So that's helping them out a lot. It's keeping them alive. It's kept them up to this point in the game. If they keep this up, give them another, 2.5 minutes when they go for this next dragon. If they win a big fight there, this could be getting close to over for TG. On their side, they've got to really, really find a pick or find a fight they can just have numbers advantage on just to get themselves back into this.
Very much so. And with items being completed, Ezreal has finished his 2-item power spike. The Mirror Mana is online. Ezreal is now doing so much damage here in these fights. And with Immortal Shield Bow and Wit's End being picked up for Iron Tower, the damage coming from the Vayne is going to be much less than we're used to seeing. And with RLS War Leader getting chased out here by Antunes and friends, RLS is going to be closing in the gap on them a little bit. Pengu Soul Escape and Demon Girl are off to the side, getting poke off, clearing their vision, making the map dark for them once more. War Leader gets out just fine. Not even a threat in the world can mistake this man from tripping himself up. With Dragon coming up in $140, we are looking at that to be our next fight coming up as we're getting Prio in the mid lane for RLS.
And Pengu's kind of scouting it out with the invisibility. Range is really far, but no one's really stepped just close enough for him to see. Iron Tower, though, might be the play here.
Iron Tower taken very low, forced to flash, gonna be forced to heal, gonna hold it, did not use it as soon as he flashed, so RLS are gonna burst them down before Iron Tower says it's too late. They're walking towards the Baron. This could be meaningful as all heck for RLS if they're able to get this unscathed. TG pushing up the mid lane, gonna get Prio on that before they walk their way over there. 9,000 on the Baron, it's going down pretty quickly. Akshan passive, really good at doing this. Ezreal all gonna ward them off. They're gonna trade for a tower. That's gonna be good for them to get some gold back from what they're losing, but Baron is so much more worth, and with powered recalls, they can't stop it even if they wanted to. They're just gonna get vision on the bot side, and RLS are gonna get themselves back on the map, one purple snake richer.
Yeah, they caught Iron Tower out. No one spotted the Akshan. Everyone else started backing away. And, when you're a Vayne, you can't really be that far forward. I think actually if she's trying to run towards the tower, she may have been able to find something to get out of with. But unfortunately, goes down now with the Baron too. This fight's going to be kind of brutal for TG. Like I said, this could be the fight that they could really put a cap on this game for right now. Or, we'll put a feather in the cap of this game. And doesn't look like TG's even going to try to contest it at this point.
And honestly, with 7 seconds coming up, they're just going to push mid. They're going to be like, we're going to take another tower if you take another dragon. War Leader's going to be able to solo it, and Anti and friends are going to lead the charge here in this mid lane. The mid tower will go down here, but Anti is already in the fray. ready to make things happen. Emperor's Divide, the Gwen W is being pushed away, but Jarvan getting one shot by Ezreal, Yumi, and everyone else. Akshan going to be able to grapple out of there. Escape, no escape out of there yet, but it doesn't matter because he has the damage. Akshan ult is going to take out the Blitzcrank, and that is going to be 3 members of TG being picked off by RLS. Still have access to the Baron. Going to be able to take out that tier or that Azir tower that they put up here. Got to be able to bring it into the base. They should be able to get a tier 3. This is going to be Pangusol taking out Shield Valor, getting caught, recrawling in the wrong place. Akshan and Yumi going to bring it with the friends in the mid lane. Actually, no, going to get some pressure on the top lane. More towers, the merrier. They're going to be able to get this inhib guaranteed. I believe so, at least. They should be able to. Riri might try this with Iron Tower. Nope, they're going to give it up. They're going to walk out of there unscathed. And they're going to get a top tower for the troubles as well. And a bot tower? Oh my god, RLS just gave themselves so much gold.
I think this game is basically over for TG. At this point, it's just waiting for the end. It was a 4v5, and they lost 3 people, didn't get a single kill. War Leader wasn't there at all. He was just taking the dragon by himself. So if you can't get the kills there, you can't get it after even such a nice Azir pushing the Yumi and the Gwen away from the rest of their carries. I'm not sure where you're going to find the win in these kind of fights. I don't know where you're going to be able to find a fight for yourself. And it's at this point, as TG, is it, do you keep trying to fight this, or do you just, you just let them edit and go next and just keep the mental up for the next game, try to make the reverse sweep here?
I mean, we've seen it happen before. We've seen it happen many times, many different tournaments, many different players. This could not be any more interesting of a series. RLS coming from a sloppy game 1, taking the win, into a very, very determinably, like, this is such a stomp so far of a game 2. I'm liking what I'm seeing from RLS. TG are looking to step it up. Even if they lose this game, it's not over. RLS, the Baron just wore off. They're going to take into the top lane, try to push in another inhib. Went off to the side. Has the TP at the ready to meet up with their team. I like what they're doing here because top bot splits really split up the map, especially if you're Graves and you're down teleport.
Yeah, and teleport coming in here, they're trying to catch out Anti. I don't know if they're going to be able to.
Anti does have Ignite instead of Flash. Is going to pop the E. That's his only escape. Antunes isn't going to get the hook. Gwen WOP cannot be CC'd, cannot be damaged. That's another inhib for the top lane. They're starting to recall. Riri and Iron Tower are there. This tower is going down guaranteed. These are the same people defending the inhib. Are they going to be able to defend it as they can? They're going to be able to open up this top lane now. And here in the bot lane, Anti and Anti alone just pushed back Niet and Shielded Valor. They're gonna walk it down into the jungle again, steal away camps. They're denying so much gold away from TG after taking inhib after inhib. And Anti, still being a decoy in this bot lane, is not letting TG get away with anything by himself even.
Yeah, there's nothing to say. They're breaking this base one lane at a time. There's gonna go bot lane. They're gonna take that. I fully expect, with this catch right here, I think they're gonna catch Niet pretty safely here. I don't know, War Leader's gonna get pushed out, but I think it's just a matter of time at this point. They're so far ahead. They're 8K up, which, it's not the biggest lead we've ever seen, but with just where the gold is positioned, who has it, it's a rough position to be in if you're TG. However, there are still ways back into this. If they can get the soul, if they can catch a Baron, maybe drag that to Elder, there are possibilities. There's still ways they can get back into this game. It's going to have to come off picks, so they need to get picks. They need to get these bounties. There's about almost 1,300 gold in standing bounties left on the on these champions right now on the side of RLS, which are Anti, Pangu, and Escape. You need to start claiming those bounties. You need to start getting picks. You need to start getting that gold. You need to start getting, clawing your way back into it. I just don't know if they're going to be able to, because RLS has been very grouped up this game. Really, it just seems like it's just Anti on his own, and the rest of them are just kind of roaming together, just looking for picks. Like you see, they're looking right again. They're looking for Blitzcrank.
And Blitzcrank is in a bush, waiting for some unlucky soul to walk by. 30 seconds on the Dragon Soul for either of these teams. Looks like RLS have the priority on it. That will be their third mountain. That is a tanky team. Even if you're anti in this case, you are going to be so valuable with 3 mountain drakes on such a team. And it's going to help against it's going to help so much against Azir and Graves' damage. And for Vayne, even though she does true damage, she opted to go Rage Blade for the third item. So she is going to have those 2 on hits with Wit's End. Unfortunately, that's going to put her behind so much damage. You need to feed crit items into that Rage Blade to get that damage worth out of it. With the Wit's End, you're only using the MR against 1, maybe 2 if you want to count Ezreal magic damage players on the enemy team. Not using it against too much more than that. Very little things that MR will be valuable for. Another item could have been more useful coming out of Iron Tower in this game, but that doesn't matter too much. Oriri's going in. He does miss the smite. He is not going to be able to get the steal. War Leader securing that Baron for RLS, and they're going to be walking it down to the mid lane with 1 more purple snake. Anti getting himself caught a little bit, biting off a little more than he can chew. That was a little cocky coming out from Anti, but 3v4, will RLS still be able to keep up the pressure? They are so much more ahead. Pulling in War Leader walking out, Antunes taking his entire health bar in return, yet not liking what he's seeing, popping out the Zanyas. This is 3v4, RLS pushing TG back and taking the Azir Tower, pushing the wave back into base. Mid inhib is up. They should cut their losses where it is. Vayne ulting in, final hour, gonna be taken down to half. Pengu Soul eating forward. The Ezreal ulti goes wide. Iron Tower 1 HP, flashing away, is gonna be blocked by the team. Ori is back. Ori is ready for action, and he is not going to be able to get anything out of this as RLS push in the base. 3v4, by the way. I know I've said it many times, but that is impressive from RLS.
Yeah, I mean, they're Anti way too deep there to start that off. They got the kill on Ariri, and he just sees the game in his eyes. Like, oh, let's go get these kills here. I can catch them, chase them down, but gets destroyed. Yumi goes down too, but there's still such a lead on the side of RLS that even if it's just 3 members, their damage profile is just absolutely massive right now. And they can just poke away. Ezreal, you saw their escape, and Pengu just putting out so much. And TG couldn't really deal with it. Thankfully, they didn't lose anyone else. They managed to stop it, but they have now lost an inhibitor. This middle inhibitor is probably going to get cracked right here, too. They don't see the Akshan, they don't see the Yumi, so they think it's just 2, but I'm sure they could sniff out. Hey, Pegu's been kind of sneaky all game, but continue to be sneaky right now. And, yeah, this is just... It's looking pretty...
Grim,
but it was looking better. It's looking better that they managed to get the pick. We said they needed to get a pick on Anti of 1 people. Cool, they've got 1 of their targets down. Now they need a pick on Pengu. They need a pick on Escape.
This is getting close and close. We want to see that last fight of the game. Baron's still up for 45 more seconds for RLS. Dragon coming up in 2 minutes and 10. It's not going to be close to get that soul yet. I feel like the game would end before then. Pengu Soul eating forward, getting closer. They're trying to get that top inhib before anything. Antunes is not going to let that happen. The hook threat, even being so low, is still imminent for TG to sort of back RLS off. And instead of just taking the inhib raw, they're just going to push up the wave and go from there. Anti on the bot side, doing the same thing he does best, getting that bottom side push, yet is defending it with his life at this point. And TG up in the top lane, they want to defend this inhibitor because if they open up 2 again, I think that could be it for TG in this game. RLS getting poked, Iron Tower losing almost his entire health bar off of that, and that alone, Immortal Shield though going to get popped by the Ezreal ulti, and they're going to be able to take this inhibitor off of that. They can't fight for anything. They should be able to just walk up and take this. It's just Oriri and Antunes right now. Iron Tower headed back for health. They're stalling for time. They are getting Sheen procs on it, and that will go down. They should walk back, and they should be just fine here. This could be the proactive play that the next proactive play they need is to get into that bot lane, open up the 3rd inhib, and see if they can go from there.
Yeah, it feels like... I don't know. I think TG needs to make something happen. They're just kind of waiting for it to come to them. Sure, they got... Like, even that play with Anti, the more I think about it, like, it wasn't them making a proactive play. It feels more like it just... Anti just made a slip up, got a little too excited. TG, you know, like when you're down like this, especially into an Ezreal or an Akshan, like people that just keep poking at you, you need to go in. Just go in on them. You need to be able to be aggressive because if you just sit there and wait, they're like you see how much damage that Ezreal Q is throwing out. It's just you're just letting him poke you out. You're slowly getting bled out, and before a fight starts, and by the time a fight starts, you're already all almost dead, and you just immediately lose it. You gotta be active. You've got to go in. You've got to be aggressive, and you know pushing out is good, but they've got to fight for this dragon because if they give up soul, I don't know. I don't know what they can do. To get
They
back.
do have the mid prio. RLS is split up a little bit. TG are all together. Hook gonna go wide. Gwen going in. Iron Tower's caught a little bit. The damage does not come out. War Leader has been cataclysmed off to the other side of the fight. Pengu Soul and Shielded Valor is going to go down. Pengu Soul getting a Riri as well. And off to the other side, Gwen taking so much damage. Revives are going to come out. Gwen's back alive. They did not lose a single member. And that is going to be a quadra kill for Pengu Soul, TPing to end this game, stolen by his buddy Anti, almost secures a penta, gets himself a quadra, gets himself win number 2 of the series. Pengu Soul did that fight and did him dirty with that one. RLS are going to take game number 2, and that is all she wrote for that.
Yeah, good job from RLS. You know, that fight, I thought it like there was a little bit of hope. You saw Iron Tower get a couple kills. You saw it going well, but Anti on the side with the Yuumi just murdering Valor, murdering Niet, and just rolling through them right there. It was just too much to do. And look at the damage numbers coming out of those carries.
Oh
So
my god. Ezreal got his items. Akshan did his thing in the later parts of the game. You see blood splatter if those Ezreal Qs connect. And in those team fights, I don't think I could have seen better gameplay from Akshan. What do you think?
I think he played perfectly. I mean, there was that one time he got a little over aggressive. Beyond that, Akshan played very well. I haven't actually seen an Akshan be that effective ever. That wasn't well. I guess he got fed, but like one that just hadn't got super fed. So that was very impressive. But even on the side of TG, I don't know, I feel like they need to stop. I think they need to get their jungler to focus bot lane. Like, get some plays going there. Like, your bot lane is clearly what you're trying to play through. You're drafting Vayne. You're clearly drafting a bot lane carry, like hyper carry. You need to start getting that fed. You need to get it a lead because it's just let as it is right now. Just kind of like farming, not really looking for ganks. Like, do what you did game one with the Trundle. You know, looking for those ganks bot lane, looking to make plays. I know it's hard with an Ezreal, so I mean that's part of it, but I don't know. It just felt like once they got behind, they just kind of bled out, if that makes sense.
It definitely does make sense. RLS taking that game 2-0 so far in the series. Will they be able to secure the win 3-0, or will TG be able to start their comeback? Don't forget to vote for your MVP in the chat as the vote comes into the chat here in a few. Stay tuned for game number 3 because it's right around the corner. Stay tuned.
The things that have really hurt us against TG in the past have been compositionally. We always tried to do different strategies against TG and played outside of our comfort zone against them. So TG hasn't played against kind of our standard play style before. So I think, and then in those games where we've struggled the most versus TG has been just closing out the games. So we've been able to pull leads in the early game. We've been able to win our lanes. And then they've been able to come back in the later stages of the game and just have simpler execution or stronger teamfight execution. And that's been what's really cost us in those games. And I think those are things that we've gotten better at throughout the season. Obviously, we're not perfect. No one is. But I'm a lot more confident going into our games against TG now than I was during the season.